despierta.
Well, look at that. Just a week or so and you already got a new video. Again, I'm very sorry for the delay. So, as you may have noticed by now, I like to talk about stuff that barely anyone talks about. It's kind of my bread and butter, my rum and coke, my cock and ball without the torture. So today, I figured I should talk about a movie that barely anyone saw and I think deserves a bit of love. I was going to talk about a movie I really liked from when I was a teenager, but let's just say I need to be emotionally prepared for that one.
Analyzer, what happened?
French people!
So you get Rumble instead. Rumble, from 2021, was a movie that was recommended to me by a good friend of mine. And by God, it was a fun watch. I noticed that a lot of reviews for this movie aren't as nice as I am. So what gives? Are the internet reviews true? Is this movie a 4 out of 10, a 6 out of 10, and I'm just being too polite? Let's find out. But first, what the hell is Rumble? Man, that's such a stupid name. I prefer the Spanish name for it. Monster Mania. So that's the name I'll be using moving forward. So, what is Monster Mania? And how did it come to be? On 2015, Real Effects Animation announced an adaptation of the 2013 graphic novel Monster on the Hill by Rob Harrell. On 2018, Paramount Animation announced that they would join the film as co-producer with Walton Media. Bradley Raymond, who's known for his work in these movies, was originally going to direct the film, but for reasons that we don't know, he was eventually replaced by Hamish Grieve, who was in charge for the writing in Rise of the Guardians and the Captain Underpants movie, making this his debut as a director, and on 2019, the title was changed to Rumble. Stupid name. The script was handled by Matt Lieberman, who wrote Scoob, The Addams Family, and Free Guy.
Yeah, he's good. He looks like an NPC, but he's running around leveling up crazy fast by being the freaking good guy. Fuck off, fight!
Like I mentioned earlier, the studio in charge of animating this movie was none other than Real Effects Animation, who have only fully animated 3 movies in their whole 32 years of existing. This one, Book of Life, which is a movie that I would love to talk about some other time, and Freebirds. Yes, that Freebirds.
We're going back in time to the first Thanksgiving to get turkeys off the menu.
Oh hey, did I mention that this movie was produced by the WWE? Because it is. Hearing that might have set off a few alarms in your brain since WWE movies have a rather less than stellar track record.
I'm the boss. I like milk and fish, because I'm an otter. And otters like fish. I just wish you could milk a fish.
Danger!
But I have to say, as someone who isn't super into wrestling, I'm more of a boxing kind of guy myself, I had a ton of fun with it. Oh, did you remember that this movie was based on a book? Because it is kind of sorta, not really. It is very loosely based on the book The Monster on the Hill, but I take that claim with a mountain of salt. I'd say it's more of a Shrek / Rise of the Guardians type inspiration, which, you know, means there's not a lot of stuff from the source material here. Seriously, this is what Rayburn looks like in the movie. Now this is what Rayburn looks like in the book. Yeesh. And that's kind of all of the development history I could get on this movie. Overall, nothing terribly big or super in-depth, which I am not complaining about, believe me. Sometimes I like it when stuff is short and sweet, which reminds me.
The time has come. The World Wrestling Federation will wipe the Alliance survive.
Ah, now this will be fun. So, what's the plot of this movie? Well, in a world where giant monsters exist in every culture, in every corner of the world, they have always, since the beginning of mankind, have had a passion for beating the ever-living fuck out of each other. So we, as humans, decided to do the thing we do best. Capitalize on that passion and decided to create the Monster Wrestling League. Now, don't think about how this could be seen as humans exploiting giant monsters for our entertainment. The things could literally kill us with a hard enough stomp. I think we giving them an outlet to let out all of that aggression that doesn't involve killing us is a good idea. It's Godzilla meets WWE. Which I'm pretty sure somebody out there came when I said those words together. We follow Winnie, a massive monster wrestling fan that is the daughter of one of the best coaches in the history of the sport. And like most female wrestling fans I know, she has daddy issues. The issue being that her dad is dead. Well, him and the giant monster he used to coach, Rayburn. But that's okay, because her hometown has a new champion now, Tentacular. Unfortunately, after beating up a dog, Tentacular does a heel turn and decides to abandon the town, leaving it without a monster, ergo, leaving it without the need to keep the monster wrestling arena. That arena being the legacy of Winnie's father. And so, she's on the search for a new monster that can become the town's new champion. Her quest leading her to an illegal wrestling club where she finds Steve. Now she has to turn this zero into a hero. That's basically the plot. It's a typical, we need to save the blank from being turned into a parking lot story, combined with a zero to hero narrative. I'm not gonna sit here and complain about it being too simple because that's kind of the point. I don't need every movie I watch to have complex stories or narratives. Sometimes a simple premise and fun characters is enough for me. Oh, and speaking of which...
Aggressive.
Before I start, I want to thank this movie for not having any big wrestlers as any of the main characters. They could have easily made it so Steve was voiced by John Cena or Dwayne I Can Never Lose in Anything Ever because my ego is as fragile as prop glass Johnson. Instead, they had all wrestlers play small roles, which I'm very thankful for. They had a one-season voice actor and a newbie being our main duo, with the biggest name attached to this movie being Terry Crews voicing Tentacular. But to be fair, Terry has had a decent career as a voice actor, so I don't mind it. Anyways, enough dilly-dallying. How are the performances in this movie? I like them a lot. Winnie could have easily been an energetic character with an actress that couldn't keep up with her. But I'd say that Geraldine did a good job.
Sign up with Stoker. I can get you matches in a real stadium. You'll be wrestling in the big leagues. And as a bonus, you'll get me as your coach. It's a win-win-winnie. Smells like... victory! I know. It's magical, isn't it? It's still got that smell of sweat and feet. Oh, really big feet. Yeah, and we're here to challenge you, you big jabroni.
Jabroni?
Steve is easily the standout performance in my opinion. Played by Will Arnett, it's obvious he was the most experienced voice actor in this movie. I like how grouchy and weirdly down-to-earth he is. The joke of a giant monster being the straight man to an energetic young girl isn't lost on me.
Let's get something straight. I love wrestling. I loved my dad, but I'm not gonna be him. Especially for you. I'm gonna be me.
What?
This is winning?
Yeah. How's it feel?
It feels not bad. I feel not bad.
What gets your heart racing, your blood pumping, you know? What do you love to do?
Nothing.
Come on. There must be something.
No, I'm sorry. I really, literally mean I like to do nothing.
And lastly, Tentacular. Like I mentioned earlier, he's voiced by Terry Crews, and I think he did a good job. I think this is the first time I have ever seen Terry being an antagonist, and he brings an energy to the role that I really fuck with. What I'm saying is, I think Terry should voice more bad guys moving forward.
So thank you again, Stoker. Much love. T out. Oh, who's chicken now, huh? You're nothing, you hear me? You'll always be nothing. Oh, you still don't get it, do you? It was never about the money. Stoker Stadium is coming down because I want it to. No matter how many championships I win, some chump's always gonna be telling me that I'm not as good as Ray Bird. So I figure I can live in his shadow, or I can tear down everything that casts that shadow.
Now, those were the big three I wanted to highlight, but I also want to show off a few other characters that I think have very good performances, even if their roles were smaller. Get it? Because of giant monsters? Yeah, you get it.
Tonight is going to go down in history as the greatest match ever, or the shortest, most painful embarrassment to ever happen in professional monster wrestling.
I'm praying it's a great match, because I got something to tell you. I am not interested in going home tonight.
It sounds like there's a bit of a story there, but I'm gonna have to cut you off, Mark.
You tell Steve, that Mrs. C says hi. Now go coach him.
Winnie, let me tell you something. I loved your dad. He did great things with Rayburn. But now it's my chance to do great things with Tentacular. That's just wrestling.
Oh, I ain't laughing, but I will be when I pin your face in the dirt and I break your tail with my horn!
Do you know what happens to those who betray Lady Mayhem? Oh, very bad. Painful things.
Gosh, I'm hungry. Oh, me too. Intermittent fasting. I've been doing it for a week now, and my blood sugar is going banana. You know what? I'm having a cookie. Can someone grab me a cookie real quick?
Well, damn, I'm blazing through these today. Alright, let's keep the momentum going. What's next? Ah, I see I made it to the best part of the movie. By far my favorite thing about this movie is how it looks. I searched around to see if I could find any standout names, and the main ones I could find were Christophe Lauteret as production designer and character designer, and Fred Warder as art director. Obviously, there are many more people to be thanked for making this movie look as good as it does. But if I were to list all of them, I'd be here all day. Animation is a team effort, folks, remember that. Shout out to this one guy who apparently built a whole ass bridge that showed up for only a few seconds in the film. Anyways, I have to say that I really like how this movie looks. I'd say that the human designs are easily the weakest ones, but they're not really bad per se. They're just kind of mediocre, you know? The landscapes were something I wasn't expecting to like as much as I did. Seriously, the scenery of this movie is just really nice. My favorite being the abandoned Funko Pop factory. The monster designs were a massive standout, with a huge variety on designs, going from badass to cute to goofy. Kinda reminded me of Monsters Inc. a little bit. The cinematography can be really beautiful sometimes. Seriously, some of these scenes are easy screensaver material. Alrighty. I'm doing great talking about a movie a lot of people haven't seen, but I feel like I've been too nice. Let's balance things out, shall we?
Gentlemen, as you know, the Ultimate Warrior. Fuck it. It's publicly stated that.
Now, while all of this is great and epic, I do have to mention that this movie can get a little lazy and reuses models, either for monsters or for humans. But frankly, it's not as bad as a lot of people make it out to be. Hell, I hardly noticed while watching the movie. Only time I noticed was on this fight where they used a model from a monster that showed up earlier. But personally, I like to think that they are just members of the same species. Or that it's Toothless getting his shit pushed in. Another complaint I saw online was that apparently the lighting in some scenes was broken, but again, I didn't really notice anything like that while watching it. Maybe there was, but I couldn't find anything. Another complaint I saw floating around was the use of license tracks, which, I'm gonna be honest, it wasn't that bad. Sure, some of the songs in this movie weren't exactly bops, but I didn't mind them. Also, this is the second time I hear Eye of the Tiger as a salsa song. Thanks, Rayman. Something that did kind of bug me was this weird effect some of the monsters have on their voices. I get they're meant to sound booming and large because of their size, but it was a bit distracting. Other than that, Yeah, no, this movie's good, man. I don't have much else to say other than... What a cute film this was. Frankly, it's kind of sad this movie had no marketing at all. Thanks a lot, Paramount. This is why the dubs of your movies without star talents get stolen from a fucking plane. That's not a joke, by the way, that did happen. This movie just had everything against it. It got released in the middle of a pandemic, it's a Paramount movie so it got no marketing, it had a lame title. Honestly, the only thing missing was for this movie to get shanked in an alley. Jesus. Do you have any idea how cooked you are as an unknown or unpopular animated movie that even Saberspark doesn't talk about you? Fuck you, Sabers! I am not too upset though. This movie is on Paramount Plus, so it's not like it can't make a comeback. Another boon to this movie is that wrestling fans will get a little out of it. Since it has a lot of details I'm sure they'll get a kick out of. I should know. I watched this with 2 wrestling fans and they seem to like it. The more I look at animated movies recently, the more I notice 3 things. 1, the way that companies treat animation is fucking terrible. 2, a lot of great movies don't get the chance to be on the spotlight and you have to really dig deep to find something worthwhile. And 3, this movie might be some kid's favorite movie. When I watched this, I thought of those movies I watched as a little boy that weren't super popular at the time of their release, but are still fondly remembered by those who watched them. Atlantis, Treasure Planet, Meet the Robinsons, Sinbad. All movies I loved and I still think are great. And to think that this movie and others like it could be that for some kid out there, it's a nice thought. We live in a time where all entertainment is at our beck and call. So the idea of some kid stumbling upon this and seeing what I saw, a good movie, well, I don't think there's a better win than that. And that's that. Thank you for watching. I only have one last thing I want to post before I go into Hibernation for a bit, so keep an eye out for that. If there's a piece of media you think deserves a bit more attention, leave it in the comments. I always read them. As always, this has been The Analyzer, and I'll see you all next time.